So what you might find is as you're drawing that you might want to make changes to your design as you start to see it come to life. And to do that we're going to use this tool here called Modify, and it's the press pull option here. This is one way. So if I go to press pull, say for example I wanted this whole shape to just be that bit thinner, I can click on that face and you can see I can push and pull it along. If I click on this face and go to modify again, you can see what it's doing is it's pushing the whole shape down, making it taller. Now if I was to do the same on create for extrude on that face, see what it's doing? It's just doing that bit. So that's the difference between the modify, press pull, and the create, the extrude. Even though a lot of the time they do the same thing, when it comes to changing and editing the design, that's the difference between the two. Extrude will simply just push and pull that little bit you're selecting on, whereas modify will take the rest of the shape with it. Now if I press on the curve to modify, and say for example I thought maybe I've curved that too much, if I drag it out you can see you can alter the amount of fillet that had been applied to it by just clicking on the modify tab. So I can press OK. Now what you may find is another way that you can do this is if you use the time bar along the bottom here. So I don't know if anyone's picked up on the fact that every time I've done something it adds a step on this bar along the bottom. Okay, so if I just go back, now you can see how this box was drawn up. So there's a sketch, you can see how I got to that point. Now the way I've just shown you how to change that curve by modifying it, if I wanted to, what I could do is right click on that stage in the time bar along the bottom. If I right click on that and go to edit feature, what it's done is it's brought up this box from when I first did the fillet, and I can change that. That's okay. If I look at that sketch for the box I've done on the bottom, I did that box at 100 by 100. So if I click on that sketch, I right click and go to edit sketch, there you go. Now what I can do here is to change that sketch to 180, and when I press stop sketch you can see that it's updated the rest of the design as well. You could do quite a lot in here. If I go back to edit sketch, let's put it back to 100. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to arc the back. Trim that bit. Let's give me a bit of a warning here. Something to just bear in mind. It might not have fully extruded it. Let's have a look. Stop sketch. Ah, yeah, there we go. So you can see what it's done. It's because I've changed that sketch and I pushed it up, so it's included that feature I've changed into that, so I don't have to redo that. So you can edit those features by right clicking on the stages down here. Alternatively, if I right click on the actual curve and press edit feature, it brings up that as well. It doesn't always work with your feature. There we go. So it's looked at when I did that. When I first did the push pull, I did it at 90. So I can change that, press OK, and you can see it's updated that way. So there's many different ways you can edit what you've done. You can modify with the press pull. We can use the timeline bar along the bottom, finding the stage and editing it that way. Or we can right click on the actual design, the feature we want to edit and press edit feature. Doesn't always appear there, but most of the time it will be there. Now there may be occasions where you realise that you've done this completely the wrong size. Okay, so one thing I would say is just to make sure that your sketch is always drawn to the right size you need it. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So we can scale the whole thing down. The best way to do it is using those techniques I've just shown you and doing it bit by bit. But let's say, for example, you've drawn it twice as big as it needs to be. And you need to scale it right down. What we can do is we can go to Modify tab, click on there, and select Scale. So it's asking us what entities we want to scale down. So I'm going to click on the body. So the whole body is now selected, ready to be scaled. So scale factor of 1 means that it's not going to scale at all. If I did 0.5, it's half the size it was. If I did 2, it's twice the size it was. So you just use this as a factor in determining how big or small you need to scale it down or up. So if I did that, you can see it scaled the whole thing. Now you can select more than one body at once when you're doing that, and you can select your sketches as well to scale them down. There we go, that is now much smaller. One way to inspect it to see what size it actually is to use this inspect tool here. If I click on this drop down, you can go to measure. If I click on one side to the other, that's telling me now that that is 50mm long. So if I modify, scaled, what entities do I want to scale? Let's select the body. Point is already selected. If I did 2, inspected that. But we should find, yes, it's 100. So it might require a bit of maths if it's something that isn't a direct multiple of 2, for you to work out what scale you need to do it to. But that's how to use the inspect tool to do that.